Greetings, family. This is another day in Costa Rica. This is Mark English, one of the Forexia mentors. I'm gonna kind of hit a few things dealing with the foundational aspect when it comes to doing well in trading, and give you like a heads up that no one really gave me when I first started. I would like to consider that, my first year in trading was a complete waste of time. Because before we even start talking about trading psychology and self-management, if you do not know how to trade, then it just don't even make sense. So in the academy, I'm going to kind of show you the three main topics that we hit that a lot of retail traders may not understand. The two things that are one of the worst things you could do is start off trading only based on an indicator, okay? Just strictly indicator-based trading. And if you can see down at the bottom, I have probably no particular order. I am gonna start from this circle here. Now, down at the bottom, I have a list of trading demons, but I'm gonna point out one as we start this class, is ignorance. Now, I didn't realize that even like almost over a year into my trading, that I was still ignorant in knowing how to trade. In my journey, I started off kind of following an indicator, right? And I was the first couple of months, and I said, man, gotta be something deeper than that. And then this sister kind of passed on, it's a known method. It's called the market maker method. But the problem was, I spent months trying to count levels, and I didn't know market structure, basic market structure. I didn't know liquidity. I didn't know order flow, which is really the foundation for technical analysis. So you see here, in the foundation, before you could find a good strategy, there's some key things you have to know in technical analysis. In the circle here, like I said, we have market structure, basic market structure. You could have your wedge patterns, support and resistance zones, supply and demand zones, trend lines, basic things like that. They are good to know. You could touch on a few exponential moving averages that do help with trend direction, but basic market structure is something you have to know. And believe it or not, I didn't spend much time on it. I thought I had this big secret, that, oh yeah, the market makers are really doing this, but I was ignorant myself. So when you first start as a neophyte, remember, market structure is first. Understand that. Second, I'm going to go down here. Secondly, we got to talk about order flow. Now, remember, you're not just the Forex market, which you see on the computer screen, is a simulation. It's a secondary reality. It's not a reality. It isn't really based in reality. Now, the primary reality is human beings all over the earth, just making a decision, clicking the button, putting their hard-earned money in an edge that they believe they could make money on. They trying to learn how to get off the plantation. There's a lot of hopes and dreams and emotions and greed, and there's a lot of that's in the market. So what I want you to do, what we really touch base on in the academy, is order flow, and that's being able to tell what would other people be doing right now. What would other people be doing at this particular pattern, at that particular zone? So order flow is really another foundation you have to know, because remember, this is a big competition between human beings. It isn't just you figuring out, oh well, the market is in an uptrend, it's in a downtrend, we need to place a buy at a W, a sell at an M, head and shoulders pattern. It isn't really just that. If it was that simple, everybody would be doing it. You're stepping into a world where everybody is trying to take your money. Because that's the only way you make money. In the Forex market, in any financial market, you make money by taking money, by stealing money. That's why banks work so hard to get you in the wrong position to fill their order. Okay? So after basic market structure, you got to understand order flow. Okay? Now with order flow comes the understanding of liquidity. The three main things that we teach in the Forexia Academy. Okay? Now liquidity-based trading is very powerful. Very powerful. So as a neophyte, you really want to know what these things are. Okay? All the, structure, the candlestick trading Bible, that's a good book. Naked Forex. Naked Forex is a really good book dealing with good support and resistance zones. All right, those are the two books that are good for newbies. You could go to Baby Pips, go get the free course, kind of learn some of the basics. But I've given you a head start on that because I was thinking that I had some secret trying to count levels and do all this extra shit, use different indicators, and I didn't even have a foundational knowledge on really what the market was all about. Okay, so you cannot think like a bank if you don't know how retail traders thinking or most traders thinking first. See, if you want to understand manipulation, you got to first understand the basic of what everyone knows. So ignorance is a huge thing, and when you coming into the market, you want to get the right knowledge to shed light into the market. Because remember, the market is chaotic. It's no holds barred, no rules, no order. But beloved, it's you that bring order into the market. It's you that extract money out of the market. You don't make money from trading. The money is not in the market, the money is inside you. So after these steps right here, the next steps is, okay, I understand the foundation, but now I have to back test on what really works for me. It's very personal, family. Like, I could teach you one thing, and you would understand it like in a theoretical basis, but when it comes to the application of it in hindsight, that's the difficult part. Okay, that's why in the academy I work to try to set as much examples live time with videos so you could see it before it happens. See, that's the goal, to see it before it happens. So that's why I believe a real teacher has to show you it before the damage is done. Okay, we could be being transparent here. Okay, so you got to back test because you got to synchronize your own style in whatever you learn from anybody, anyone, or any of the Forexia mentors. Okay, so secondly, you got to practice. Okay, you could back test an edge and you could see it happens frequently. Now, understand, you could create flashcards and the most perfect setups in the world. But what's the problem? Every week, the markets, the conditions change. Hey, that's the goal of the market maker, to always keep you guessing. So, a trading demon that people have is that then they're non-adaptive. They have strategies, but they don't know how to adapt to different market conditions. So there's some things you will have to learn through losses, through losing, to learn how to, for example, you have a range in market, you have an uptrend, downtrend, you have a wild fucking NFP. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. So you see, you have to learn how to tweak it, and that's where the practice comes in, based on what you back test. Okay, this ain't no overnight thing. It takes some people 6 months, it takes some people years, literally years. But if you do not have this foundation, guess what happens? You're ignorant. And ignorance makes you start to strategy hop. You see how ignorance could kind of open a door to different trading demons. So strategy hopping is the biggest taboo you can do. I know people that have been trading for years and they still jumping between strategy to strategy, mentor to mentor, signal service to signal service. It don't work out like that, okay? We trying to stop that, all right? So you gotta shed light, you gotta have the knowledge, the foundational knowledge, back test, practice, meaning risk 1%. What you trying to rush this for? Risk 1% until you get good at it. Okay? And you got to look at it in more of a long-term basis. This ain't no get-rich-quick scheme. Now, you got some people that get lucky, but for the majority of people here on earth trying to play this big mind game, because that's really all it is. The financial market is the biggest mind game on earth. It's a psychological game, okay? And we as human beings, naturally, it's really an unnatural skill. I can be real with you. This is a very unnatural career because you really got to get completely comfortable with risk. And compared to other careers, you make mistakes, you lose your money. That's a problem, okay? So risk what you're willing to lose. If you do not risk what you're willing to lose, guess what happens? You over leverage it, and then you cannot take any second of drawdown. The trade won't be able to mature. Remember, family, like I said in the last video, every trade brings out a different emotion. Every single trade does that. When it spikes up, you go long and it spikes up right to your TP. You feel that euphoria. You see that consolidate. You enter a trade, it consolidates, goes against you, comes up, goes against you, comes up. That's some psychology. That's where the patience comes in. Then you close it like, man, this ain't going my way. You come back and shit like up 150 pips. But if you over leverage it, and you haven't really accepted the risk, you will cut that trade out early. So a lot of different demons, trading demons, kind of grow from each other. Okay? So you have to accept the risk. Remember, we are self-managers. That's your job. You are a manager of self. Okay? So you manage risk, you manage your emotions, and you manage your psychology. And all these, you only can rise above and use these to your advantage by having a trading plan. So if you enter a trade, and let's say you risking 1%, you have a 25 pip stop loss, you're going for a 50 pip take profit, whatever. 2 to 1, that's, you want to take one, let's say 3 to 5 trades a week. Okay, risking 1% to gain 2%. That's your plan. Okay? Now, anytime you feel an emotion and you get a trade, you want to close it early, you want to risk more, think, observe, rise above, and say, that ain't a part of my plan. That ain't, look, man, I got somewhere I gotta go. Like, you really ain't, you ain't with the plan. So, a trading plan is, where will you be? Let's say 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. Okay, you don't want to put the stress on all the stress on trading. You don't want to do that. Okay, so as you see, you have to build and extend from the technical analysis, foundational knowledge, go into back testing, to practicing what you back test. This one takes a while. I ain't gonna lie to you. That is a bitch. Okay, this one takes a while. Okay, so ain't nothing you can do to stop a losing streak, because that's just a part of the game. It's frustrating. You will cry. You will cry. Okay? So here, long term. Now, you see, a plan, having a trading plan, allows you to protect your account from trading demons. And that's what the market makers do. They appeal to your trading demons. You in this alone. It don't matter if you're a part of a community. As a matter of fact, you know you're getting really good at what you do or your strategy. When outside noise starts to get really quiet, you start to get really quiet. You're not really reactive as much no more. Okay? You see people in a trade group going against the trade that you took, and you're completely fine with it. It becomes, completely irrelevant. Okay, so that's the level you want to work your way to, but understand it is something that you work on. It's a muscle. It's an acquired skill over time, but with the right knowledge, okay, the right risk management, emotions. Remember we talked about the breath work, breathing. Now there was a brother that commented under the video and said that you don't need to know all this and that. In Wall Street, they just hit cocaine, drink alcohol. And I just want to say much respect, brother, but I just want to say this to you, man. Like, that is not the reality for the vast majority in the trading world. We're retail traders. This video is geared towards retail traders. Okay? So that's like the Hollywood version in Wall Street, yeah, but it ain't the reality for many of us. A lot of us sitting in our rooms stressed out like hell, and we really cannot get a grip on how to learn this beast. But you don't learn the market, you're learning yourself. You're learning your reactions to the market. And when you learn what it is that suits you, that's when it really starts to make sense. But I could give you knowledge, but it's you through backtesting that give yourself the epiphany. It's you that give yourself the epiphany through practicing, through the acquired skills. So just want to say again, focusing on the breath is key to emotional management. It is. We don't work for a hedge fund. We ain't trading someone else's money, we're trading our own money. Some hedge funds have a psychiatrist. That's right, this stuff could be so stressful. They have a psychiatrist for their traders. Okay? You have to be all of that. Your own psychiatrist, your own financial advisor, your own supporter. Because after a while, after 2-3 years and you ain't showing shit for it, you telling your spouse, you telling your family, they're asking you what's up. You start to feel some type of way. That's why anytime you have a good trading day or good week, keep quiet. You have a good month, keep quiet. That don't necessarily mean next month will be exactly the same, because you gotta still keep all these principles put into place. Okay? That's something that messes you up too. When the minute you're doing good for a couple of weeks, you're telling the whole world, and then next month, oh, something's up. Guess what happens? Overconfidence. Overconfidence. How many people you know and build an account 20, 30, 40 grand, blow it? Okay? So don't get too caught up in that. You got to remain humble. You got to. I'm telling you. Fear. Like I say, I'm going all over the board, man. Just follow me. Now, you see, fear is directly connected to you not accepting risk. And you will never accept risk. Never. I don't give a shit if you've been trading for 10 years. You will never accept risk if you keep over leveraging. If you keep putting up money that you're scared to lose. That don't work out too well. And you never learn how to properly learn how to immerse or allow a trade to do its work. Okay? A lot of us execute a trade and we immediately think of what bad is going to happen. Now, subconsciously, you could, even if the trade is a good trade, because you've been losing so much, because you may have over leveraged, that fear in you will manifest that. So you'll be in a good trade, you see it coming in your stop loss, and you close at a negative. You just created it, and then it goes your way. Okay, so that's where the psychological aspects come in. Okay? Instead of immediately thinking that something bad is going to happen, why not execute the trade and think that, something good can happen? Okay, with risk comes reward. Allow something good to happen. Walk away from the trade. Go for a walk in the park. Go do something else, man. Go paint, go write, You gotta have a hobby. You can't just do this alone by itself. Okay? So, another thing that over leverage causes, or you may not have practiced enough, or it's just you gotta keep going, is hesitation. Oh boy, that's something. I have a problem with that. I would see a setup, but because of the past impressions of me getting beat down by the market, I would hesitate and I would not enter my trading edge. And that's, again, what kind of opens up the hesitation a lot going to over leverage. Risk less in each trade. Okay, you gotta crawl before you could walk before you could run. Okay, leverage is something only bestowed to someone that really knows how to use it. Okay, so I have here fear of missing out. That's one that you hear about a lot. So understand, after you get past, you understand the foundation, you backtest, you practice, you have your long-term trading plan, guess what happens? And I'm going to give a shout out to Mr. Oliver. Oliver, I love how you said this. Oliver, I don't know his last name, but he's a trading mentor and teacher. He said something that really hit home with me. He says, you realize that you have to go on a demon killing spree when it comes to trading. After you have your back-tested edge, you got your money in your account, you got your plan, you've been doing pretty well, you realize, holy shit, there's much more to this game than just this. There's much more to this game than just having mentors. This is the realm. When you know how to trade and find your back-tested edge, that is the most loneliest realm ever. Because now you have to face a reality. It could be traumas in you from childhood messing with your trades. It could be subconscious actions and patterns. That's why you have some people do NLP. You know, some people cleanse, they go on a fast, they do the necessary things. So let me try to trump and overcome, you know, this, what is it that's holding me back? And it's very frustrating, okay? But in that realm, that's where you have the people that will either quit after 2 years, a year, 2 years, or keep going, okay? So after you get past this, knowing your back-tested edge, you realize you have to go on that trading demon killing spree. And you would be amazed. You would be amazed at how often you would do the same mistake over and over. I mean, you would look in the mirror like, come on, you can't do this again. You cannot do this again. Don't do it. Here come Monday, Tuesday, you do good. Wednesday, do good. Thursday, you say, you know what? I'm not going to over leverage, and you see a pattern that you thought was pretty, you hop into it too quick, over leverage, boom, you basically lost all that you made. And that's just one example, because everybody is different. Just like how you got your own unique spiral on your finger, you got your own unique demons that are going to hold you back until you overcome them. And hey, we could try to do our best, all right? But understand, this is why we had in the last class, sorry for the quality, why we spoke about self-knowledge, meditation, energy cultivation. There's even some forms of breath work called holotrophic breath work, okay, where you just breathe in and out your mouth continuously, stomach in and out. And the holotrophic breath work will actually reveal to you certain emotional traumas or things that may be running in your subconscious, okay? Those things are all tools to do what? To figure out the self. This is what you're actually doing. You're not trading. You get to the point where you think you're trading, and when you see you know how to trade, and you still not make money, you realize that the real money makers are the self-managers. That's where you could really gauge and move towards having success in this business. You're managing self. This is one aspect of it. You have to start here, but by all means, that ain't where it's going to be at. All right, so basically, family, just to do a recap, here's what I don't want you to do. Do not start off with indicator-based trading. Don't just think because you have the market maker method, you know how to trade like the banks. You know, the levels are really subjective if you really don't know order flow, liquidity, a lot of other aspects into the equation, okay? And then again, ignorance of this makes you strategy hop, thinking there's some secret out there. There is no secret. The secret is inside you. So with that, we go from here, back testing, practice long term. Make sure you have a trading plan. Understand that you are a manager of risk, a manager of emotion, and of your own psychology. That's your job. Okay? And over time, you will start to starve out the trading demons. That's what you want to be, a demon slayer. And hope to have you in the academy. This is Mark English. Peace and love, family. All right? Hope to see you there.